That's just sports, baby.
Crowd goes wild. Strawberry ice, bringing fire and style. Reds, Bengals, Bearcats, all in my zone. This is my stage, my mic, my throne. Boom, like a hammer, I'm breaking the game. Strawberry ice, you're gonna know my name. Sports Talk Thunder, hear the podcast roar. Cincy's finest kicking down the door. Step into the ring where the passion ignites. Talking sports all day and all night. From the field to the court to the roaring stands. Strawberry ice with the world in my hands. Boom, like a hammer, I'm breaking the game. Strawberry ice, you're gonna know my name. Sports Talk Thunder, hear the podcast roar. Cincy's finest kicking down the door.
Guys, what's going on? Welcome to the show. This is Sports with Strawberry Ice. I'm your host, Iceman Jeff Tronopole. And as always, I bring you sports from a West Side point of view right here in the great city of Cincinnati, Ohio. And as always, coming to you live from that ice cave.
All right, shout out to my sponsors. They are Priority Lawn and Landscaping for all your lawn and landscaping needs. You need your grass cut, you need your shrubbery trimmed, I don't know, you need a paver patio, you need anything. I mean anything. Landscaping required. Think Priority Lawn and Landscaping. Also, shout out to T Properties, quality housing for quality people. Check out the website at www.tpropertiesllc.com for all your rental property management needs and your rental needs. And of course, Meyer Window, Door, and more. I got it in my house. I highly recommend you get them in yours. They're energy efficient, great looking windows, easy to clean. Meyer Window, Door, and more. The website is MeyerCincinnati.com. And also, shout out to my favorite brewery, Moorline Lager House. Get on down there, get you some delicious Moorline beer, some delicious Moorline food. And tell them I sent you. Moorline Lager House.
Hey guys, want to win a signed T. Higgins helmet? Like this one right here? Want to know how? Go to the Moorline Lager House website, sign up for their loyalty program, and you will automatically be entered. Already a member? Great. You want to double your chances though? Come on down to my tailgate. Buy a ticket to the pregame experience presented by Best Day Brewery. I'll even give you $10 off by using the promo code pregame10 for $10 off. So let's try this again. You go to Moorline Lager House website, sign up for the loyalty program. You already entered. Great. Then get a ticket to the pregame experience presented by Best Day Brewery at the Moorline Lager House. That's not good enough. $10 off by using promo code 10 and all this. So you can get this helmet that we will be giving away November 23rd. November 23rd. So come on down then. Make sure you win. Come on down this Sunday. We're going to have a great time. We got a DJ. We got beer pong. We got cornhole. We got ice. We're going to root the Bengals on. What more do you want? Let's go! Well, obviously, we're not going to be there this Sunday because there's no Bengals game. But next Sunday, we will be down there. So make sure you guys get your tickets and hopefully get a chance to win that autographed T. Higgins helmet. What is up to everybody in the chat? You guys are blowing it up already. We got Stranger in there. Brad's in there. Tony Blaze in. Ronnie Ron's in there. Jack's in there. Michael Madden. And I think that's everybody. All right, guys. So the Cincinnati Bengals did absolutely nothing yesterday. Which wasn't totally surprising to us. It kind of was a little bit at the beginning of it because they traded Logan Wilson, and I thought they might be doing something. Richard Skinner was just in the waiting room, and he just popped out, so hopefully he'll jump back on here soon because I was about to go to him. But one thing I do want to put out there that I wanted to discuss with Richard whenever he jumps back on. And I put this out there. Oh, there he is. Richard is back in the building. All right. So with that being said, let's get to my guest for today. He is a beat writer for the first Local 12. He used to be one of the two angry guys, but if you watched or listened to the Joe Burrow podcast or the Skinny podcast with him and Trags, he was a pretty angry guy anyway. He is the one and only Richard Skinner. What's up, Skinny?
What's going on, Iceman?
Not much, man. Not much. Just dealing with this season. I'll put it to you that way. Dealing with the complete and utter disappointment of this season. And I kind of said it that I said on yesterday's show, I'll say it again today. With them trading Logan Wilson as early as they did yesterday morning, I thought, hey, maybe they got some more moves coming on. Maybe the Bengals are actually changing, going to try to go get some draft picks, try to get some players. They did nothing. They just got rid of Logan Wilson. What's your thoughts on that? I mean, where do they go from here?
That's a great question. I wrote a column about that today. That it's just further proof that they don't know what they're doing. I mean, when you pay superstars and you're paying 4 of them, one of them comes off the books this year, Trey Hendrickson, after this year. When you're paying superstars, you have to have guys on rookie contracts producing. Right. And they have whiffed so much. I mean, to me, anybody that's a day 1 or day 2 pick, I think those are guys you should count on. You're not going to hit on all of them, but you need to hit on the majority of them. Well, you didn't hit on Miles Murphy. Doesn't look like you're going to hit on Shamar Stewart. This draft class is, I guess, I won't even put them in there because it's too early. But your 2 rookie linebackers are starting, according to PFF. One's graded 80th of 82. The other one's graded 82 of 82. Again, a little too early to say whether they're busts or not, but it's not going very well for them this season. Go back to last year, your 2 third-round picks, McKinley Jackson and Jermaine Burton. I think McKinley's been active for 2 games, barely played, and Jermaine hasn't been active for a single game.
Third second-round pick, Chris Jenkins in there.
Chris Jenkins is not played well.
Right.
Go back to the Jackson Carman pick in the 2nd round. That has not gone well. I mean, there's a lot of Zach Carter in 2021, college defensive end, they tried to make into a 3-technique defensive tackle, was a disaster. They cut him before his rookie contract was up. You just can't keep whiffing. And listen, Duke Tobin probably deserves credit for the teams that were put together in the Marvin Lewis era because he was the director of player personnel then, and they went to 7 playoffs, didn't win anything, but they did go to 7 playoffs. But you don't get to rest on your laurels of, I did some good things in the past. This is such a, what have you done for me lately? And we're not talking about just 1 year's worth of evidence. We're talking about multi-years worth of evidence. You can argue in 2021, he built the roster thanks to having a boatload of money. They paid for Trey Hendrickson. They paid for Chidobe Awuzie. They paid for Von Bell. And those were all smart moves. And you deserve, nobody really knew that Trey Hendrickson was going to blossom into this.
Right.
So I'll give them credit for that.
Right.
But since then, when you look at drafts, as you started to have to pay these guys, the drafts are supposed to supplement, and they have not. And how many more chances do you get to take a swing at that?
Yeah, exactly. That's why I've been banging the drum this whole week. Something's got to change, and everybody keeps throwing Zach Taylor and Al Gold, which they are just as much a fault as anybody else. But the drafting and developing has been terrible. Now, the thing is that they better do this offseason. This is numbers that somebody said to me here for the salary cap for the next 3 years. This is what the Bengals have. So, like we said in 2021, they went through a whole bunch of money on the defensive side of the ball. They've got money to go throw on the defensive side of the ball for free agency this coming season. This past offseason, they completely just blew it. They signed TJ Slayton, and that was it. I mean, you've got money, I think, to go out there and to at least improve it. If you're going to screw up on your draft picks, you at least got to get the free agency right. I mean, is there any chance? I mean, I don't see any other way the Bengals can get out of this because they have missed on so many defensive draft picks. It's ridiculous, Skinny. I mean, we can throw a dart at a dartboard and probably hit more than they have here. But with that offseason and that money there, do you think they'll actually throw it to the free agency?
Yeah, they've done that before. I mean, they did it in 21, and I do say they think they will do it again. I mean, you're not going to be able to fix everything in one draft either. I mean, there's so many holes on defense. Yeah. I mean, I could argue if you gave me my druthers right now, I'd let the rookie linebackers finish the season out, see what that looks like, and if one of them takes a step forward and one of them doesn't, then I need to go get a veteran at that position. I need 2 new safeties, probably even more than that because I don't trust any of that safety room. They don't trust the backups to play. So you need multiple safeties. You need at least a cornerback, if not a couple. I'll be honest with you, I'm not so sure I don't need an entire new defensive line when push comes. I mean, you need a lot. And I don't think it's going to be fixed in one off season, and it's certainly not going to be fixed just through the draft. No. Yeah, they're going to have to spend.
Now, the thing is, Mike Florio take it for what it's worth. I don't always necessarily agree with or believe some of the stuff he says. But he said there's rumblings, and he's the only one I've heard say it, that Duke Tobin actually might be on the hot seat inside the Bengals organization. Have you heard anything about that?
No, he said that it looked like he was trending towards him being fired.
Right.
And the way it was written was, it looks like he might be fired during the bye week. Well, my man, this is the bye week.
Right.
Here we're in the bye week. So
we're in the middle of it.
I do think something has to change. Because I'll be interested to see what the fan base did from a season ticket renewal standpoint, and if that was alarming to them, if to the point of, oh boy, we have to do something. Duke's been pretty insulated for a long time. He's been with this organization since 1999. He's been director of player personnel since 2002. I think he has wrestled a lot of control away that probably he once shared with Marvin Lewis from a personnel standpoint. And, that's why you hire a young coach that doesn't have a ton of experience, is because it allows you to take more power. I know the coaches have talked about that they do have input, and they work, in collaboration with the scouts, but somebody has final say, and it's Duke Tobin. And that's why I think everybody needs to point the finger at him. Listen, right. I get the anger at Al Golden, but let's not forget, this defense stunk last year. They thought the coordinator was going to be the difference, and it's not been. And I don't think it's because Lou Anarumo can't coach. He's proven to be pretty good in Indy right now. I don't think Al Golden can't coach. It's just,
they got the talent.
They are really, really bereft of talent. It's so bad on that side of the football.
I mean, I said that this offseason. I said, I saw their vision. I saw what they were trying to do. I didn't like it. I said, you put an awful lot of eggs in Al Golden's basket that he's going to be some miracle worker. And I said, I hope it works. But one thing I want to go back to Knight and the draft pick here. And other guys that have been on my show and the different draft guys have said they probably could have got him in the third round. And Al Golden came out and it sounded like this was an Al Golden pick, an Al Golden guy. We wanted to get this guy. And Ragnow, don't get me wrong, our guards are playing good, but Ragnow is a pretty damn good guard. That went to Detroit.
Tate Ratledge.
Tate Ratledge. Sorry, Ratledge. Sorry, my bad. Ratledge was sitting there, and we didn't draft him. Have you guys ever found out was this an actual Al Golden pick? I mean, how much input do these coaches have in these draft picks?
Somebody has final say, and it's not the coaches. They do have input, but they don't have final say. I mean, they're not the ones that are going to go, hey, here's who we're drafting. It still comes down to Duke Tobin's where the buck stops. I did last week a redraft of the first 3 rounds, and it really wasn't very hard to get them 3 better players.
No, it's not. They're sitting right there.
If you want, obviously they needed a linebacker, right?
Jahan Campbell.
There you go. Second round, Tate Ratledge on the board. You needed a guard because you went for one in the third round. There he is. Third round, you needed depth at safety, Xavier Watts. Then you could go back to Barrett Carter in the 4th round and Jalen Rivers in the 5th round. That's fine. But the first 3 rounds, it was almost like they tried to be the smartest guy in the room. Like, man, this Demetrius Knight, he's a difference maker. Go read his scouting report. Demetrius is a solid. I think he'll turn out to be a solid player. He's never going to be anything special. His scouting report doesn't exactly read glowingly. Got to get up and jump up to take him in the 2nd round when he projected as a 3rd rounder. You had to be the smartest guy in the room, taking Miles Murphy traits over production and take Shamar Stewart traits over production. Stop trying to be the smartest guy in the room. And listen, if it turns out you are, kudos to you. But of late, it's turned out you're the dumbest guy in the room. You're trying to be the smartest.
And that's the thing that drives me freaking nuts is like they had the smallest scouting department, the smallest of everything else. And the guys are literally sitting right there. And guys, and my buddy Dale from Bengals Brews does a draft guide. Joe Goodberry does it. They can pick better than the Bengals have. And they're sitting at their house watching tape. And they can pick better than the Bengals have. Like you just said, the obvious draft picks were right there. And the Bengals were drafting the right way. They're drafting for defense because they put the money on the offense. So like you said earlier in this broadcast, they had to get impact players. They needed impact players in your 1st and 2nd round almost every year. And you got to really just suck at drafting to miss every freaking year to on your 1st and 2nd round pick to get nothing out of them. And we haven't gotten crap out of them in God knows how long. And Shamar Stewart, maybe he'll be good. I don't know. But I know Jahan Campbell's playing pretty damn good right now. And he would be a pretty good fit in this linebacking room.
Xavier Watts is playing pretty good. Yeah. Ratledge is playing really good. I mean, again, none of these were guys you look and go, okay, let me find the guy that's kind of snuck up that nobody's going to know. It was just go down the list and go, yeah, that guy would have been perfect.
They're right there. Take the layup. They're right there.
Go back to the Jackson Carman pick. Nobody thought that was a good pick, and yet they made the pick.
I don't understand that. It's and the thing I've said this, Skinny, that the Bengals won't always seem like the smartest people in the room. But wouldn't you think they would get tired of getting all the blame because they got the blame for how this organization has ran for 50 years or more? So why wouldn't they take and hire a GM from outside? Just for instance, an outside GM, let him go hire his coach. That coach hires his coaching staff. That way, it insulates the Brown family and the Blackburn family from the if it messes up. Well, hey, we did what you wanted us to do, and it still didn't work, which I think it would work. But why do they? And I asked Trags this yesterday. He just said they're stubborn. I'm like, you can't be that damn stubborn, can you? That you just see it's blatantly obvious what the hell the problem is, and you refuse to do it. That's not stubborn. That's just stupid.
Listen, I know there's been a mantra that Mike Brown doesn't care about winning. I've always believed he cares intensely about winning. But I think I've always said this, and I believe this. He's always wanted to do it his way. His dad was a football genius. And so, you know what? I'm going to prove that I'm a football genius. I truly think that's what this is. And then it's trickled down to the daughter. And Katie, I'm going to prove to be a football. You're not, okay?
You're not.
It's been proven over time.
Yes.
And so at that point, go get somebody to run your organization, somebody with some bona fides. I don't think it's that hard, other than back to Trags' point. A, they're stubborn, and B, they want to go, see, we showed you guys.
Right.
And it's been weird. I do this analogy on the podcast with Trags the other night, and I don't know if there's coincidence to this or not, but the 3 Super Bowls they've gone to, the 81 Super Bowl team, they did go to the playoffs the following year and then had a losing record, and Forrest Gregg was gone in 83, so it fell apart just like that.
Yep.
The 88 team didn't make the playoffs in 89, did make it in 90, and then the early 90s, that's when the disaster set in. This time around, 3 years after going to the AFC Championship game, 4 years after going to the playoffs, you're going off the cliff. And to me, it's almost like they go, see, we know what we're doing. We've arrived, as opposed to going, no, how can we keep building this year upon year upon year upon year? And that to me that's the sign of real arrogance, in my opinion.
And I think it's crazy about this thing is Duke's in there. So Duke either doesn't know what he's doing, which I think that looked like he doesn't, or he's become Bengalized because he's the one in there. As a quote unquote, he's not the GM, but he's, I guess, as much of a GM we're going to get. How can he not see this? How can they not when we went back to the AFC Championship game? It was great. All right, well, cool. Maybe we're going to sustain this for a little while. And then the next year Joe got hurt. Okay, well, Joe got hurt. Wait till we the next year, and then then we ended up last year where we had one of the best offensive seasons ever, and our defense sucked. I mean, let's just put it this way. If the Bengals would have kept, which they could fit these guys under the salary cap, kept Jesse Bates, kept DJ Reader, drafted slightly a little better, we're still in this thing. But if you just kept those two right there, your defense is a little better at least. But they didn't even keep them, and then they didn't have anybody to replace it. The guy that they drafted to replace Jesse Bates is a cornerback now, and they never drafted any. I take it back. The 2 guys they drafted to replace DJ Reader, one can't get on the field, and the other one hasn't made a step forward at all. So, I mean, what does that tell you? If they can't see it right in front of their face, it's hopeless, dude.
I think that's the part that's the most frustrating is a lot of people see it and they don't seem to either care or again, they just don't know what they're doing. And I stick with more of the latter because I do believe they care, they care to do it their way. And that's just the height of arrogance, in my opinion, that at some point, man, you just gotta look outside the box and go, okay, we got to go somewhere different. I mean, let's face it, they did it with Marvin, and Marvin changed a lot of things about this organization.
He did.
Marvin had his faults too, but he was able to get a lot of things changed and done. They did go outside the box a little bit with Zach Taylor, unproven quarterbacks coach, and like him or not, he did take you to a Super Bowl and to an AFC Championship game and 4 straight winning seasons, which is not easy in this organization. But eventually, it all catches up to all of them because of why? Because of front office arrogance.
Sorry, yeah, exactly, and that's the part that is just so frustrating because we're still going to have Joe Burrow. We're still going to have T. Higgins. We're going to have Jamar Chase. We're going to be a team that, unless which I think they're going to win a couple more games this year. I don't I think they should like really tank and try to go get a top 5 pick. But with this offense, especially with Joe Flacco playing, we're probably going to win some of these games. How do we get out of this rut? Because the thing I'm worried about is we're not going to get good enough to get back to the Super Bowl, get back to the AFC Championship game, and we're going to be like the Steelers. We might have a crappy season, and then we go 9-8, and they go, oh, we're on the right track. We're doing good, guys. But it's not until something drastically has to change. That's why I hope this season just sucks. So it's so freaking obvious. You got to change something, because that seems like that's what happened Marvin's last year.
Yeah, tanking is not a word that coaches and players like to use, and I don't think anybody intentionally does it, but it could happen on its own organically. Yeah. The one thing I will say is this, though, and I get your point. I mean, when you're a bad team, you want to have the highest draft pick possible.
Right.
But all I know is Kansas City drafts late almost every single year. Yeah. They seem to do okay replenishing guys. Yeah. Philly's been drafted late. They seem to do pretty good. In fact, they're the ones that took Jihad Campbell. I'm sure they're looking at 31 going, wait a minute, how'd this guy keep coming down the board? Well, sure. So, again, I think it's just a matter – it's not always a matter of when you pick. It's, again, who you pick. Yeah. And they picked all over the board from high to low to in between. And, yes, when you're picking number 1, it's hard to miss on Joe Burrow. The year they took Jamar Chase, it was a pretty clear-cut Jamar Chase or Penei Sewell. And truth be told, they couldn't have missed with either one of those guys, because they both have turned into multiple-time Pro Bowl players at their positions. So those are easy ones to make. I don't know. To your point, that free agency money can dry up pretty quickly, as we see this past year where defensive ends, the market went so crazy that suddenly what you thought was going to be a $25 million extension for Trey Henderson got to, the point of no return, where he wanted in the high 30s, mid to high 30s. They finally settled on the rework deal at 1 year for $30 million. So these markets can get really wacky really quickly. So when you see all the money that's potentially available, sometimes it's not as plentiful as you think it is, just because of markets go. But to that point, though, they have to throw money at this problem to get out the rut quickly, or have somebody else do the picking when it comes draft time.
Or both. But both would be great. I mean that's the whole point.
I mean, I can remember us sitting with Duke Tobin at the Combine, and I think Paul Dehner Jr. just asked him a question. It was a casual setting, just the writers and him, and he wasn't at a podium, so it was a little more casual. It was on the record, but it was a little more casual. Mm-hmm. And he said, what's your thought on adding to the scouting department? And he said, I don't need more opinions, more voices. I think we've got more than enough. Well, you don't. It's not going to hurt anything. No. It's not going to hurt. Again, just because they give you their opinion of a player, if you're Duke Tobin, doesn't mean you have to accept it. You can respect the opinion. You can respect what Scout A thinks of this player. But what about if Scout A and then Scout B, maybe even Scout C, see that same player? And there's a consensus opinion performed.
Yeah, you can debate it. I mean, that's what you do. You debate, okay, why is this guy better than this guy? And you do your pros and cons. All of a sudden, you put everything on the table and you discuss it. That's how you figure out not to draft Shamar Stewart and let Jihad Campbell go. Which, I mean, Jihad Campbell, he had the shoulder injury.
Medical, he had the medical.
That's why he was dropping. But still, I would have taken him. I mean,
and go back to this part to it. If your way was working so well with so few, I'd say good for you. But it's not. That's the key. It's not.
Mm-hmm. It's not even close. I mean, that's the thing. It's like with one thing that hopefully, like Michael Madden said, we got to be first in line here. When free agency starts, which other people said this free agency class isn't that good this year, which I have no idea. I haven't even looked at it, to be honest. But last year, it seemed like they were so, and it's so stupid. They shouldn't. This shouldn't be a thing, but they were so wrapped up in signing T and signing Jamar, which, by the way, they only had to talk to one agent. They had to talk to two different guys. They had to talk to one agent for two guys. But they're so wrapped up in that and trying to figure out Trey that they just completely forgot or couldn't wrap their mind around doing anything for the free agency. Because, I mean, Skinny, the biggest glaring spot on this team was safety. It was horrible. You got Geno Stone to take less money. Some said they're going like, all right, well, then they're going to take some of that money and they're going to go get somebody or draft somebody, and then or both, and they could cut Geno if they want to, but they did nothing. So I mean, maybe this offseason Trey Henderson may or may not leave, and they could just franchise tag him. Whatever they do with him, I don't think it's to be as hard as it was this year. At least I hope not. Maybe they'll have more time to pay attention to free agency. Does that make sense? I mean, it doesn't. But
I truly believe that they thought this was all related to the defensive coordinator and complex schemes. I really believe that. I mean, I think the proof's in the pudding because they brought back basically the same group of guys, added T.J. Slayton, who has not been a great addition, by the way.
No, unfortunately.
Did remake the linebacker room, but listen, Logan Wilson was heading downhill. I get, it's time to maybe get the kids a look. But honestly, if you'd have brought back Logan Wilson and Jermaine Pratt, you'd be better off at linebacker than you are right now. Now, maybe not moving forward when those guys mature. And I shouldn't say mature. That's not fair. When those guys evolve, perhaps.
Hopefully they will.
Yeah. No, that's the other part.
We haven't seen anyone do that yet.
That's to that point. Yeah, hopefully they will.
Yeah.
You're going to have to remake the linebacker room sooner rather than later. That just adds to the mix. To me, I go back to, if I'm a fan, I would be extraordinarily frustrated to let the potential of a Joe Burrow era go away with anything less than a Super Bowl championship.
All right, so that brings me to another point. All right, so Joe Burrow got them, in my opinion, to sign T, because I don't think they were going to sign T. I think he got them to sign T, sign Jamar, and I think he got them to bring back Trey. Now, does Joe Burrow say, look, you guys, we can't score 40 points a game and lose this ain't gonna work with him and Jamar and T, because they ain't going anywhere.
Nope.
Can those guys go in the Mike Brown's all like, dude,
they can do that. Doesn't mean it's not gonna fall on deaf ears. Yeah, that's just it. I mean, we'll fall on deaf ears. Well, because here's the thing. I go back to this. If it doesn't fall on deaf ears, then how does Duke Tobin still have a job?
Right. Well, I mean, that's the thing, though. But I mean, I think, like I said, I think they listened to Joe last year, is what I'm saying. When he came out at the press conference after the Dallas game last year, started talking about how much T was valued.
I would say this: he didn't go to bat as much for Trey Hendrickson, though. I mean, he stopped that one. But he went to bat.
But he did T, and they
and Mike Gesicki.
Yeah, he said Mike G too, because they were. I don't think they were going to sign T. That's just me. I don't think they were going to sign. Now it helped. That he changed.
I'll be honest with you. I'm not so sure it's worth it.
It might not be. I mean, he's a hell of a player.
He is. But that money might have been better served on the other side of the football, the way it looks.
Yeah, but I mean, they didn't do anything with it last year. I guess that's my point. It's like somebody's got to. I don't know. I know somebody's got some fan base has got a protest or something coming up here next Saturday or something. Dude, I'm 50 years old. I've seen this crap. We did this stuff in the 90s. And I mean, because my son and daughter-in-law, you going to go? I'm like, no, because it's not going to do any good. He's not going to. The only thing he'll listen to is if I'm a season ticket holder.
I thought fan apathy in 2002 hit rock bottom, and I think that's why he went out and signed and got Marvin Lewis as a head coach. I do. I'm not going to tell fans how to spend your money. It's your money, man. You just want to spend it on tickets and go to games, and that's your enjoyment. I can't tell you that's the wrong thing to do, but that's what speaks volumes to these people. Listen.
Well, how about all the Bears fans in there? Because or all the Lions fans in there?
There's a lot.
Those are two. I'm a season ticket holder. There was a lot in there. I mean, they were drowning us out. So I mean, does that change something?
It shows you a lot of ticket holders are putting stuff up on secondary markets and saying, "I'll make my money on this stuff." And how do you get rewarded? Oh, we're going to increase your ticket rates again.
Yeah, tell me about it. I know, which is crazy. That's another thing that makes us pull our hair out. So like, then go get us a freaking defense. So I'm like, the thing I like. You remember the '90s? People, I think Paul Tagliabue was here, and people were asking, well, "What can you do to make him sell the team?" I'm like, nobody can make Mike Brown sell the team.
Right.
No, we can't. The only thing we do is not show up, which, like I said, I'm a dumbass. I'm going to show up because I like going, but that's about it. But I mean, to me, it seems like the fan,
because here's what happens. They've got you by the short hairs.
Yeah.
You saw the Super Bowl run in 21 and 22, and the great quarterback and the great wide receivers are still here as part of that. So there's no reason not to go. That's my hope.
Right.
But the football team last I checked is more than 3 dudes. I mean,
exactly.
So
I guess my point to this is because there's a lot of there's a lot of this has reached a large stage of blowback from a fan base. There's no question. And I think it's big because the fans know, like you just said, we have the window of Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase. We should win at least one Super Bowl in this era. We should with those guys. That's where I think it's getting so big that even with us not renewing our tickets or whatever, that fans sell their tickets and other teams' fans are in there, it's getting big and it's getting louder. And so they didn't have in the 90s, they didn't have podcasts like this. They didn't have the internet. They didn't have, there's so many ways to go.
Yep.
You guys suck. You don't
Yep.
know what you're doing. You got to change something that maybe, just maybe, we're getting to them. I don't know how else to do it other than go on here and say they got to change. They got to freaking change.
I'm gonna make you rephrase that. You better. You're hoping you're getting to them because they haven't made the changes that say you are getting to them. Right?
Right.
They haven't done anything different.
Which I mean that's I
honestly they got the new lease agreement. What do they care?
Yeah. That's it. It's like, all right. So when you said Mike Brown wants to win, I agree. I think Mike Brown wants to win. I don't think Mike Brown is willing to do everything possible to win.
No,
there's
he wants
a
to do it his way. I go
stupid.
Well, I think it's an ego involvement. That again, his dad
was have an ego when you haven't won shit in 30 years.
Because his dad was such a legend. Did you want to show your dad, you know what? I know you don't like what I'm going to do, but by God, watch me do it. And, Mike was once a lawyer, got involved in the football business through his father, and wants to show Dad, I know what I'm doing, Dad. Even 30 some odd years since Paul Brown has passed, I want to show that I can do it. But, if my dad was a doctor, which he wasn't, doesn't mean I'm going to be a doctor or a good doctor. I mean, at some point, if it's not working, let professionals who know what they're doing give it a shot.
I just don't understand the stubbornness. I just can't. I just don't. I'm not wired that way. I mean, I'd rather be wrong and win than be right and lose. I think Mike Brown would rather be right and lose.
They insulate themselves so much. They I'm sure they have to hear some of the outside noise, but they don't have to respond to it, right? And so
the girl, I guarantee you, the girls are hearing it. Elizabeth and Caroline, I bet you they are. Because
maybe,
and because I mean they're the ones that got Mike to do the Ring of Honor and all this stuff. I'm like, maybe that's the only thing. Look, we're losing our fan base here, Grandpa. We're not going to have a full stadium. We're going to have a mutiny on our hands here if we don't do something.
Well, I go back to I'm really fascinated to see what happens with the season ticket base. With the way the season is going, and with, at least this is probably a multi-year rebuild on defense. I mean, you can get some quick fixes in the NFL if you literally hit on every right move in free agency in the draft. This is probably a multi-year fix. So I'm fascinated to see what the season ticket fan base does with that and with the price increase. It's one thing, I guess you can keep doing it, put your tickets on the secondary market and let other fans come by. I don't blame you. If I had season tickets, I'd probably do the same thing. If two games we're going to pay for my season tickets, absolutely. And maybe I'll go to a couple of games when the weather's nice and team still has something to play for. But as the season goes along, to hell with it. I'm just going to throw my tickets on the secondary market. So maybe that's what you keep doing. But this has gotten bad fast.
Well, and they have a waiting list. I mean, I don't remember. I was kind of young.
I don't know if they'll have it for long.
Well, that was kind of my point. I'm like, they have a waiting list. I mean, when you get to the point where people are giving up their tickets and the people who are on the waiting list say, no, I don't want them.
Yeah,
that's when they're like, ooh, we might have a problem here. Which. Yeah. The dumb thing is, it shouldn't get to that. They should already see they have a problem here. Not only just with the fan base, with the damn team, because they're going to lose their players. I mean, it's been on here multiple times. People said in the chat, how long until Jamar and T and Joe say, you know what, we want out of here if you guys aren't going to win. I know they're signed.
We've also seen how that's worked for players. Trey Hendrickson, trade me or else. Well, the or else was you're still here, my man.
Right.
So I get what you're talking about, and they can certainly voice their frustration level. But we've also seen the front office look at those requests and go, The Logan Wilson one they honored, I think, only because they don't believe Logan can play anymore. And, he was on their books for the next two seasons, 2026 and 2027. So Dallas, I think, in my opinion, did the Bengals a favor by taking that contract on. I mean, you weren't going to get anything more than that 7th round pick you got. But I think it was also getting awkward. I mean, he's a captain. He's supposed to be a defensive leader, and yet he's not on the field, and you're turning that leadership over to two rookies. And, he lockers 3 lockers away. How much can you lead when the leader, who's the defensive captain, still in the locker room? It was getting awkward. And I don't mean that as a pot shot at Logan. Logan never made it awkward. It just, It is what it is. I mean, Logan was still a pro through all this, other than just he wanted out. And I think it was the right thing to do on both sides.
So why do they still think BJ Hill can play?
I don't. Yeah, I mean, he's another one. But
I love the guy,
but his contract's kind of different. I'm in the column today. I even mentioned, him and Cam Taylor-Britt. Could you have tried to move those guys? BJ's, I think base salary for next year $6 million. The year after is $8 million. When he counts $12 million against the salary cap each year, that's probably a big ask for a team to take on for just a rotational defensive tackle. I hope they at least had some conversations about it. And again, it'd be nice to know if we could talk to Duke Tobin if they had those conversations.
It would be nice to know. This is a thing I put up on my Twitter and Facebook today. The Bengals are 1-4 when scoring 38-plus points in the last 2 years. All other 31 teams combined are 62-4-2. That right there should tell you need to change something, Skinny. I mean, that's just –
Yep.
You can't make that up. That's just ridiculous, dude.
No, it is. And I don't know what to tell fans. I really don't.
I don't either.
There was a part of me that thought they would do a couple things here at the trade deadline. I didn't completely believe the Duke Tobin rumor mill stuff, but that may come at the end of the season. It's bad, man. It's bad.
Yeah, I mean, I wish we had other stuff to talk about other than how bad it is, but that's it. But one thing I do want to talk to you about. We change subjects here a little bit here. I want to talk about my University of Cincinnati Bearcats and how shocked, because I'll tell you, I wasn't shocked they lost. I was shocked how bad they lost.
Yeah, that was strange. I mean, Brendan Sorsby goes 11 for 33. They don't run the ball all that well. They run the 3-3-5 defense. It's kind of been the Big 12 killer when the Big 12 was in this wide open space of passing games. But Utah's forte is running the ball, and they just ran it right down their throat. I thought Utah would have success on the ground because it's what they do.
Right. I was worried about that, yeah.
But I didn't think to that degree. And so now, 7-2 still, you're still control your own destiny to play in the Big 12 championship game. Mm-hmm. But now we've seen losses like this the last couple of years. Mm-hmm. All of a sudden, take you down a bad rabbit hole. And they still have to play BYU, which is really talented. And they still have to play at TCU, which is really talented. Arizona's coming on. Now, that's at home, but Arizona's coming on. I don't think they're going to lose all three of the rest of their games, but
they lost 6 last year.
Yeah, no, and honestly, if you did, I still think this season should be deemed a success because I do think them getting back to a bowl eligibility in a bowl game should be deemed as a success. But it's going to have an ugly, awful taste if it ends. It ends with 3 more losses to go on top of that Utah losses. But you still, the good news is you still have a chance to control what you can control. I mean, go beat BYU, go beat Arizona, go beat TCU, and you are in the Big 12 championship game.
Right, and that's
maybe the college football playoff.
That was my next point. There is if you do that, you are in the college football playoff. Well, you should be if you win the Big 12 championship. You're in there.
Yep.
So I mean that's where it's just like the Bengals last 2 weeks. Their destiny's in their own hands, and the Bengals went and stomped on it. And
no, they're right.
Threw it away, but the Bearcats have a shot here. So I mean,
here's the goofy part. We talk about how bad it's gotten for the Bengals, which it has, and it's probably for the best. But you are 2 or 3 plays away from being 5-4 going into the bye week. That's the crazy part.
One tackle last week, Jordan Battle, wrap up. You tackle the tight end, the game probably is over. I mean, don't even. It is. I've never been this frustrated with this team in my life because the offense is so good and they were in it. And I said this to Trags. The story of this season right now for this last couple of game stretch here should be Joe Flacco.
Absolutely.
What this man has done, especially last week, he had a strained UV joint or whatever it is. He got shot up.
AC joint. Yep.
AC joint. Could barely move his arm. Throws for 470 yards, the most yards he's ever thrown for in his life, and you still find a way to freaking lose that game. That should be the story of this season, but it's not.
And he's nothing more than a footnote from that game, and that's a shame. That's a damn shame because it was heroic. Yeah,
I mean, like Zach said, he probably can't even move his arm, the day after, which he probably can't.
Yeah, listen, I'm guaranteeing they shot that up and got him as much painkiller, and he probably bit the bullet and played through all that pain stuff. It's been, and that's the part. If they think that they're going to go and rest on the heels of, well, just wait till Joe Burrow comes back. And listen, Joe Burrow's in an arguably a different class than Joe Flacco, in my opinion. But I don't know if Joe Burrow would even have put up the numbers Joe Flacco did the last 2 weeks. And even if he did, and you still scored 38 and 42 points with Joe Burrow, you still would have lost with Joe Burrow.
Right. Now, the funny, this is where fans just kill me. I had fans reach out to me on some on your social media, I don't remember which one, and said, hey, what if they trade Joe Burrow and they keep Joe Flacco? I said, you want to keep a 41-year-old quarterback as your starting quarterback? Well, he's putting up the same numbers Joe Burrow is. I said, okay, he might only be able to play for maybe another 2 years. You got Joe Burrow for the next 5 or 10.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm just
no. That's
I love people, but sometimes like that like really are you serious? Like oh well, Joe Burrow's not that good. Like, did you see what he did last year? Like, did you forget already?
He was the MVP if they make the playoffs.
Yeah, by they beat the Patriots last year. They're in the damn playoffs.
Yep.
It's so frustrating. Bearcat basketball, real quick. I'll get you out on this. They played Friday night. They're looking pretty good. I got to see them sort of the other night. ESPN Plus was not wanting to work too good for me, so it's kind of in and out. To me,
that was the first half.
Okay. So I'll set it for you like this. Satterfield, I thought he had to make a bowl game this year.
Yes.
So I said, if he doesn't do that, I think he's gone. Satterfield's making a bowl game. Hopefully more than that. Wes Miller's got to make the tournament.
Yep.
Got to win at least one game, maybe two. What's your thoughts on that?
I don't think you're going to find out much about this team in the non-conference. I mean, the non-conference schedule's not very hard. The Big 12 is hard. And so if you don't build your resume in the non-conference and you finish, let's just say I think they were picked to finish 8th in the league. And that's not a negative. It just shows you how good the damn league is.
Right.
Well, last year, 7 teams made the tournament. Now, you could go deeper than 7. I mean, this could be a 9-bid league this year, 10-bid league for all I know. But, boy, it puts a lot of emphasis on the Louisville game and even the Dayton game in the non-conference. And remember, last year they slipped up just enough to where, okay, you got to do something a little more special in the Big 12, and they did something less than special in the Big 12. I think this roster is his best roster. I'm not fully convinced on Kirk Kriisa and Day Thomas in Big 12 play.
That's what scares me, is guard play.
Sean Abayev is a freshman you're counting on, and he looked good against Western Carolina. Bob Miller looks really good. Shane looks really good. But the Big 12 has guys like those guys too. And, Western Carolina doesn't. A lot of your non-conference schedule doesn't. I did like the pace they played with. I thought they pushed the pace well. I thought they shared the ball well. A little sloppy turnover-wise. But, yeah, for a first game, I thought it was a good start. But, again, I don't know if you're going to find out much about this team in the non-conference.
Which we did. I mean, we didn't find anything out till last year, till UConn. UConn was the one that I'm like, ooh, that was a red flag for me.
Yep.
Now, last year, to me, not obviously last couple of years, I think Wes has made his team very easy to guard because they have no inside game, absolutely none. They couldn't throw it inside to get a bucket from somebody at any consistency at all. You could just play zone and let them fire up 3-pointers. Do you think that they have enough guys? We have tall 7-footers, but I saw him shoot the 3-pointer the other night.
Yeah, Shane's got a back of the basket game to him. I think you can get some buckets from him, but I go back to there's a lot of those same guys in that league. So
we didn't have any though. That's my point.
It may look good in the non-con. We'll see what it looks like when conference play begins. But I do think this is his best team, and let's see if it plays like that.
So if he doesn't make the tournament, is he gone?
I think so. I think it's made easier because, you don't have to fire 2 coaches instead of 1 because Satterfield probably saved his job. Seriously. I mean, that's probably put an even hotter seat on Wes Miller.
And I like Wes. I hate this, but I mean, if you don't win, you don't win.
You've got in today's era of transfer portal, you can have an off year here or there. You just can't keep doing it time and time again and getting more chances at it. This is last roundup time.
Exactly. All right, Skinny Man. I appreciate you as always. You want to plug some stuff before I let you go?
Yeah, just we got all kinds of stuff. Local12.com/sports. The podcast I do weekly with Rick Broering drops it's usually Thursday. Sometimes we do it on Wednesdays. We're actually doing it tomorrow. And then post-game Bengals, Mike Petralia and I do the Jungle Roar post-game pod. So catch that. You guys are off the hook this past weekend. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was awesome. I appreciate it. You were fun. All right, I'll see you, Skinny. Take care. Yep. All right, guys. Hope you enjoyed that much. I did. Go check out Skinny and all his work. He does a great job. Like I said, I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer here with the Bengals, but it's they need to change something. And to me,
the whole fire Zach thing, that's changing the deck chairs on the Titanic. I'll put it to you that way. They need wholesale changes. They need to change how they draft and develop. They've got to do it. I'm going to keep pounding the table here. I got this microphone, so hopefully they'll freaking hear me and hear us. I've said this before, you don't have to fire Duke. I don't know. Put him somewhere else. You got Bob Treehouse, who was the county commissioner back in 96, who helped you get the stadium deal. You still have him hired as something in the Bengals organization. You can put Duke somewhere. Make him a scout. I don't care. Or keep him the director of player personnel. But get a GM over top of him. I don't know. That's what you got to do. So if they don't do it, the hope is that they take this money that I put up here earlier. The hope is they take this money. They have $69 million under the cap, 134 next year, or 2027, 183 in 2028. They take that and they're smart with it, and they go get some free agents that could be impact players. And they need to do it day one, because if Dustin's right, which I'm sure Dustin is right, and I think Divine Thoughts told me this too, the free agency class is not that deep, which I have no idea. I haven't looked at it. But there should be guys out there that you can get an impact. And then when you're going to do the draft, take the layups. Take Jihad Campbell. Take Ratledge. Take them. They're sitting right there. And this is no shade on Dylan Fairchild, but Ratledge is sitting right there. Take him. Jihad Campbell. Take him. He's right there. What are you looking at? Why don't go squirrel? Oh, this guy's got so much potential. We've never seen it, but his athletic ability is through the roof. We need production on the field. Immediate impact players is what the Bengals need. I'm going to say it over and over and over again. You've got the offense. I even think you fixed the offensive line. I mean, it's a small sample size, but it's looking pretty good. I know we're going to have to draft a left tackle because Zeus, I love you, Zeus, you're going to have to get replaced eventually. That side of the ball looks okay. Looks actually pretty damn good. Defense. All levels. Defensive line, linebackers. Cornerbacks, I think we might be okay. We could always draft one. Safety, you gotta draft some safeties. It's every level. It's not a coach. It's the players. You got to have talent. If you don't have talent, you ain't got crap. Just put that on a t-shirt or something. Anyway, guys, hopefully you enjoyed that. I've been live streaming people over the wrong way. I've been live streaming on YouTube, Facebook, X, Twitch, and also Instagram. So if you guys are watching me on Instagram, hi. You can follow me on all those, along with Threads, TikTok, and also check out my Substack. I've been writing a couple articles on there. I'd greatly appreciate it if you would subscribe and share. And of course, later on tonight, I'll be pulling the sound off, putting on the podcast. It'll be on BeanPod, Apple iTunes, Spotify, Google, Stitcher Play, pretty much wherever you get your podcast. Do me a favor, listen to it, rate it, like it, review it. Do a 5-star review and a comment so more Cincinnati fans can find my podcast. Listen to it in the morning when you're going to work. Listen to my podcast, because we don't have any local sports talk in the morning. That's it. We need local sports talk, so we don't have any. Listen to my podcast. I'd greatly appreciate it.
All right, shout out to my sponsors. They are Party Lawn and Landscaping for all your lawn and landscaping needs. You need your grass cut, you need shrubbery trimmed, I don't know, you need a paper patio, you need anything. I mean anything. Landscaping required. Think Party Lawn and Landscaping. Also, shout out to T Properties, quality housing for quality people. Check out the website at www.tpropertiesllc.com for all your rental property management needs and your rental needs. And of course, Meyer Window, Door, and More. I got them in my house. I highly recommend you get them in yours. They're energy efficient, great looking windows, easy to clean. Meyer Window, Door, and More. Their website is MeyerCincinnati.com. And also shout out to my favorite brewery, Moreline Lager House. Get on down there, get you some delicious Moreline beer, some delicious Moreline food. And tell them I sent you. Moreline Lager House.
Hey, guys. Want to win a signed T. Higgins helmet? Like this one right here? Want to know how? Go to the Moreline Lager House website. Sign up for their loyalty program. And you will automatically be entered Already a member? Great. You want to double your chances, though? Come on down to my tailgate. Buy a ticket to the pregame experience presented by Best Day Brewery. I'll even give you $10 off by using the promo code pregame10 for $10 off. So let's try this again. You go to More Lager House website, sign up for the loyalty program. You already entered. Great. Then get a ticket to the pregame experience presented by Best Day Brewery at the More Lager House. That's not good enough. $10 off by using promo code 10 and all this. So you can get this helmet that we will be giving away November 23rd. November 23rd. So come on down then. Make sure you win. Come on down this Sunday. We're going to have a great time. We got a DJ. We got beer pong. We got cornhole. We got ice. We're going to root the Bengals on. What more do you want? Let's go! And, of course, obviously, we're not going to be there this Sunday because the Bengals are on a bye week. So guess what? The Bengals defense is not going to get scored on this weekend. I guarantee it. Other than that, you guys have a wonderful day. I'll see you back here tomorrow. We got Robert Baker on tomorrow talking fantasy bankroll, fantasy football, and Thursday night football. And I'll probably be bitching about the Bengals too. Remember, who they for life? Throw it up as always. That's just sports, baby. See ya!
Another great show. You guys still here? The show's over. You can come back tomorrow. I'm out of here. See ya.